Probably the most stupid, risky thing I've ever done, which I suppose doing on film they can immediately give you a driving ban. You know, I got out of one side of the car and having put a brick on the accelerator, went across the bonnet and in the other window. Nobody's there to see it. I mean, now I mention it, people will hear about it and then maybe it has some sort of exchange value, but not at the time, you know? It's not like I was doing it to sort of use later. The world was incredibly boring, really. It's just been ground into a sort of a mush. And the things that I really appreciated sort of didn't exist. You know, there's plenty of kind of thorns around, but nobody had bothered to keep the mulberry trees. Well, I like mulberries.
I was autistic. I was like a sort of autistic wild boy, you know. There's no way you'll climb as well if you're not, basically. I'm much better than people could, you know, understand. I'm a much better climber than they realise. I like being outside. I like something which is asymmetrical, that doesn't have somebody telling me what and what not to do. I like the fact that it's on something permanent, so you can revisit it till you get it right. I just really like rock as well.
That's got grip there.
The way you pull on the hold is what's relevant, not whether you're strong or not.
That's right, the way.
You can't, there's not a section of crystals you put your hand on and you pull on them, like, they're not pockets if you get in a certain way.
Put your fingers in,
You put your hands in them and it's such a, the scale of it is such that your fingers have got to do the listening.
That's right.
The individual
Absolutely.
finger, not the hand.
Or sensitive.
Yeah.
Fingertips.
And you don't get that by thinking, you get it by being instinctive.
Yeah.
It's like dancing.
Yeah.
Except when you dance, you enjoy the music, but here, you enjoy water and wind. So it's like...
Yeah, I was climbing a lot better than everybody else in North Wales at the time, and that's for sure. And I think a lot of people were very jealous about that, really. And even though I was short and fat and didn't really train very much, I was still able to climb things that they couldn't climb. A bit like you don't forget what a raspberry tastes like.
Because of the natural things that are made of the water and the wind.
Yeah.
And the same way that you say listen to a piece of music and it makes you dance. It makes you dance a particular way. Well, on the rock here, if they're holding a certain way, the water and the wind's made that, and if it gives you a certain feeling, that feeling is because of a natural force, and that's what the name Gaia means.
Many days of the year you feel like that then?
I think what I was trying to say is that there are some movements that you do where you understood that you did the move the correct way, because you get a clear feeling of the essential feeling tone of the place. You know you're there, you know that you're awake.
As you calm down in yourself, you can feel when you're inside or outside your body properly. So if you're going from one position to another, if you really feel cozy in each position, how to get to the next one is obvious to you, but also the second and third become sensible as well. At that point, you can start to use early moves to do later moves. And the kind of rhythmic texture of the whole climb sort of starts to calm you down, because you know you're in sync. And at that point, your speed of your mind increases. You've got to mess about. You've got to go out in bad weather or really good, really good weather when you don't think you're going to climb, and you find yourself there without climbing boots or something, and then you find yourself try something, and something that didn't feel possible suddenly becomes possible. Climbing rock to me is like food, and it's only when I haven't done it for a while and come back and do it that I realise that it is food. You feel like the rock's climbing you as much as you're climbing the rock. For one thing, you don't necessarily feel like you're moving up. You can just as easily feel like the rock's moving down.
Cloggie's just an amazing bottle of wine, an essence of the crag that never kind of leaves you. So talking about it is not so kind of easy to do, but I feel it in myself. A bit like, well, how do you describe the presence of an essential feeling within yourself? It makes me feel wider, more involved in being alive. And you look down, and there's Cloggie, there's the valley, there's Wales, Anglesey, the rest of the world. I just remember feeling really amazing hanging on that jug. But I'm not sure I want to say how I feel hanging on that jug. So I don't want to associate myself with a reflection on what I feel, you know. An Indian face gives you something that isn't a fucking reflection.
What you learn helps you to find out who you are. The rock will show you exactly in what way you're not being you. I actually like going out and standing on bits of rock and just holding that position for a while until you kind of slump into where you are and you listen to the environment, and after a while your body will kind of slowly jig itself into another shape where you can feel more comfortable. People always slag off Anarchy as if it's got no structure and no love and no capacity to self-organise, but it has got capacity to self-organise. You know, we took something very, very small and made something brilliant out of it. Used hardly any resources. We had a brilliant time. You know, we got laid and ate well and slept well.